in a town which is reason enough for a weekend in the country. How amusing, how delightfully droll. A weekend in the country, while we're losing our control. A weekend in the country, while enchanting on the manicure lawns. A weekend in the country, with the panting and the yawns, with the creaking.
You could tell me where we are right now.
We're in the front row of the Ruthenhall Theater, actually in the center two seats. And Stephen freaking Sondheim is going to be sitting in one of those two chairs. My guess is that one because it's more yellow, like the gold throne. I'm getting my camera ready to record, my phone camera.
Okay, alright.
I'm shaking like a, what shakes? I don't know what shakes.
You can't think of anything right now.
Like salt and pepper shakers.
I've interviewed and I've been honored to interview a great number of noteworthy and talented people over the years. And my wife has said that she's afraid that this is the first interview I've ever had to do in which I might have to actually wear adult diapers.
That's so true.
The importance of Stephen Sondheim's song and songs and his life's work in our life really cannot be understated, and something that I hope we're passing on to our daughters. And to be here tonight on this stage, this famous stage, in this famous place, in this wonderful community, thanks very much for letting me and letting us be a part of your lives.
No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos. Amigos, together.
Julie Stein wrote the music, I wrote the lyrics. And Ethel Merman, you probably all know the star of that. She was a great friend of Porter's. She's done many of the shows. And after we'd written about 7 songs, she called one day and said, Cole is very depressed. He, as many of you may know, he was in a terrible riding accident in 1937, and he had had one leg amputated, and now he had to have the second leg amputated. He could not swing the leg for a period of 30 years, and 25 years. And so she said, he's very depressed. It would be lovely if you and Julie, she was talking to Julie, if you and Steve would come to Cole's apartment and play him some songs. I know he would get a kick out of it. So we went there, and after dinner, Julie and I provided, Anita Luce, the screenwriter, was also there, and Ethel. And so it was those three, Ethel and Anita and Cole Porter. And after dinner, we dutifully played a couple of songs, not all 7. But we played the song called Together Wherever We Go. And I got to the release, and I said, wherever I go, I know she goes. Wherever I go, I know he goes. No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos. Amigos together. And when I hit the word amigos, I heard this gasp in the corner of the room. He hadn't seen it coming. He had not seen the fourth rhyme coming. And his style was using foreign words. He often used French words, Spanish words in his lyrics. So it was a real Cole Porter coup, and he didn't see it coming. That's one of the proudest moments of my life. I thought I got Cole Porter.
You talk about Hammerstein.
Sure.
You're the boy who came to dinner in their household.
Yes. For those of you in the audience who don't know, I'll make it brief. When I was 10 years old, my parents were divorced, and I was living with my mother. I was an only child. She was a working woman. We moved. She bought a house in Pennsylvania, here in town called Doylestown, and the Hammersteins lived about 3 miles away, and they had a son my age, Jimmy, and she wanted a companion for me during the summer months because she worked in the city and in New York City. And so I became friends with Jimmy, and Oscar became a surrogate father, and Dorothy, his wife, became a surrogate mother. I was now about 11 years old, and I osmosed myself into the Hammerstein household. And because he was sort of surrogate father, I wanted to be what he was. And I've said this before, I said this afternoon to a group of students, if he'd been a geologist, I would have been a geologist. But he was a songwriter. And so I got interested in writing songs. I had taken piano lessons when I was 7 years old for a couple of years, so I was sort of musical. But I wasn't really in the theater per se. I was really into the movies. Nevertheless, that's what I did. And so when I was 15 years old, and I was at a Quaker school called George School, Friend School, I wrote a show called By George. And it was about the faculty, and it was about the student body. And I gave it to Oscar. And I'd like you to read this. He and Dick Rogers not only wrote shows, they produced shows in those days. And I said, I'd like you to read this. Of course, I was thinking, Dick, I want to produce this. And I said, but I want you to read it not as if you knew me. Pretend you don't know me. By this time, I was part of their household. I was a surrogate son. And so I went home, and I just knew I was going to be the first 15-year-old on Broadway to have it. And I went, and he called me over the next day and said, he said, now, you sure you want me to treat this as if I didn't know you? I said, well, absolutely. He said, well, in that case, it's the worst show I ever read. He said, I'm not saying you don't have talent. I'm saying it's terrible. It's terrible. I'll tell you. Let's start with the first stage direction. How do you do this? Why is this character introduced here and dropped over there? What is this song about? This song doesn't have it has a beginning, has no ending. And he went through the whole, about the first 25 pages, and treated me as an adult, not as if I were 15-year-old. And I'm embarrassed to say, because there's so many of the students I talked to this afternoon, I'm repeating myself, but for those of you who weren't there, what happened was that by the end of the afternoon, I had learned more about songwriting and musical theater writing than I dare say most songwriters have learned all their lives, because I got a distillation of Oscar's life. And at that age, you're a sponge for knowledge, and I was so eager to take in what he said. I just went like that. And to this day, I applied the principle